Now, before I get started with the actual video, I do want to say one thing about Bella Delphine that really bothers me a lot throughout my day, and has been giving me so many nightmares in my sleep. And you want to know what that is? Well, take a look at this clip while I show it up on screen. Bella Delphine, if you're watching this video right now, I just want you to know that eating your pancakes like that is disgusting. Because first of all, I actually eat my pancakes with a fork. Yet look at you, eating your pancakes with your own bare hands. And how old are you again? Oh yeah, that's right, you're 20 years old right now, and so am I. Now, I may be a nobody to you at first, but you, on the other hand, act like a child living your own la la land, making a scene to everyone like the elephant in the room that you really are. And lastly, getting those guys to pay for your own so-called OnlyFans, which is probably something I won't use in my entire life, unless if I was a real simp myself, which in reality I'm really not. And that is all I have to say. But anyhow, moving on with the actual video, shall we?
It's a brand new day, no time to waste. Let the birds be your body, sunshine your face. I smile and wave, but my eyes are laid to the party that you started with your childish grace. It's a brand new day, no time to waste. Let the birds.
Hey, what's up guys, it's Soul Phantom. Welcome back to a brand new video, and I hope you all are doing a fantastic week, because I know I am. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel and have no idea what this video is about, I mean, you know, just by looking at the thumbnail and title and whatnot, let me explain. So about a year ago, after I graduated out of high school, I was surfing around YouTube and randomly found this reality TV show from the late 2000s called The Principal's Office. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, it's about these students who I guess get in trouble for the funniest, stupidest, and dumbest reasons. And they have to go to the principal's office to be told to them what they're doing wrong. And I made my first video responding to two different segments from the show in one video. And well, at the time we recording this video, the first video I made about the principal's office has exactly about almost 100 views, which is quite surprising considering the fact that this particular video I made has been up for the past 6 months now. And well, for those of you who want to go check out my original video of it, I'll make sure to leave a link in the description for you all to go check out for yourself. And well, here I am making another principal's office video. Now, I almost forgot to mention to those of you who have not seen my first video of the principal's office, this show is also based in the United States, which again is where I live, of course. So really, expect the worst of it if you really can. Or I mean, at least I hope so. By the way, this is high school, so I can completely understand that what you're about to listen to might sound disturbing and suspicious. But once you listen to both sides of the story, you'll know exactly what I mean once you try and watch it the first time. So one of the first clips we're going to be looking at are even more funnier than the last ones I made. But this first clip, though, I'm about to show you is really funny, but at the same time, it's really dumb and stupid. Like, I'm talking real dumb and stupid in a way. And the video is so-called titled, Mouth of the South. And we're gonna give it a shot at watching the video. So, sit back, relax, and get your handy-dandy notebook out, because we're about to dive into the world of high school. And let's start this video in 3, 2, 1. Roll it.
So I'm sitting at my desk, and in comes Mr. Ritt, bringing one of our office frequent flyers, Chris. Thought this year you weren't going to be a frequent flyer.
Sorry.
Chris has received, thus far in his high school career, about 35 referrals.
Wait, what? 35 referrals? You're kidding me, right? Now, let's be real here. If someone at my school were to have that many referrals like Chris did, I guarantee you that this particular person would have A, gotten a long-term suspension, meaning that it would be around 90 days of being suspended out of school, or B, he or she would have been kicked out of the school, in which would mean he or she would have been expelled. But unless you even had the guts to be the biggest troublemaker in school, then yeah, but who knows really. But anyhow, let's just keep going with the video, shall we?
School sucks, of course I'm gonna be a wise guy. Need to pass the time.
Yeah, I can see why you got exactly 35 referrals.
In freshman computer lab, slamming the keyboard down on the table. What were you doing?
I went like this.
Why were you doing it?
I don't know, I was having fun.
Bruh, what is this guy even thinking? Actually, scratch that. How do I say this? Oh, yeah. Why would he even have considered the thought of having fun over banging a keyboard on the table? I mean, I don't even know if I could even consider him to be a wise guy like he said he was. I think the way how any of us would go about his own personality would be the, you know, the retarded phase, but beyond him being the wise guy, in which he admitted that he was, but really not entirely that. By the way, I don't think I've ever had anyone at my high school had the ideal of banging a so-called keyboard on the table. I mean, unless if you were doing it just to be bored or something, but unless if you were to bang it hard on the floor, then yeah, I mean, I could see Chris doing that. But I don't think, to me, the way how Chris demonstrated, the way how he was actually doing it in the classroom, wasn't really like that major, right? I mean, who would not agree with me? Anybody?
I also see on here that she checkmarked profanity and gestures. What is that all about?
I told her to shut the up.
What did you say to her?
I told her to shut the up.
Why would you say something like that to her?
Because she's beautiful.
Wait, what? You cussed at a teacher to shut up because you thought she was beautiful? Like, what? Chris, what is wrong with you? Like, what has gotten into your head? But in all seriousness, though, not to make fun of him or anything, but like, is he really okay? Because I've watched this original video like about over 10 times already, and I always wondered to myself, like, is he really okay? And when I say this, I mean, does he like have some kind of mental disability or something? Because I mean, that I can completely understand, but at the same time, I really wish that Lemon Bay High School could have handled it better in this kind of situation. Like, I don't know, like put him into therapy or something. I don't know. Maybe put him in a special ed class or something. Oh, you know, so that they would build him up to become a better person in school. And also, whenever he gets a job, he'll become more mature than ever. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments what you think the school should have done better to prevent him from doing something like this. Because I'm curious to hear your thoughts about it. But let's just keep going deeper into the video, shall we?
You know you can't talk to a teacher like that, Chris. Chris lacks that self-control, no buffer between what he's thinking and what he's saying. It just comes out. What about the gestures?
What are gestures?
She said it was when you exited the room you were giving gestures. What were you doing? Sit down.
I can't believe you, Chris. I can just imagine the teacher just looking at him and just being like, "Hey, Chris, why are you flapping your arms around? You should be in my classroom learning. You shouldn't be walking out of the classroom playing your arms around out of my classroom."
Why do you think that's funny?
Because I'm black.
What does that have to do with any of this?
Come on, Chris, say something. Come on, do you have any ideas, or are you just running out of ideas all of a sudden? Because to be honest, though, I feel like this guy has gotten on a whole new level of being the next troublemaker in his school. Because first of all, he bangs a random keyboard on a table in a computer class. Then, he claims that he cussed out the teacher to shut up because he thought she was beautiful. And finally, he waves his hands up like the retarded guy he really is. But seriously, though, again, as I said earlier in this video, I feel like there's really something wrong with him. Like, he could be mentally challenged, but who knows really. Also, he used his own race as an excuse, so I could probably see why he called himself the wise guy, but what can I say really? Now, if a so-called Chris guy were to go to my high school, well, even though I did already graduate last year, like, for instance, let's say he did cuss out at one of my teachers at my high school. If he were to do something like that for the school of today, I don't think he could even live on with 35 referrals. He probably would end up getting expelled, even if it was his first time making threats like that to a teacher as well. Like, it would be a really bad ending for Chris, meaning it would not end very well for him, just saying. Maybe being expelled, but I think a lot of it just really depends on the situation, and mainly just on the person. So, what do you guys think? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts in the comments. But anyhow, can we just move on with this amazing video already?
Chris?
Yes.
No more. All right, Chris, well, you know the deal. It's 5 days suspension for being disrespectful to the teacher.
Can I have 6 days? You're beautiful.
Yeah, I figured you'd say that.
This type behavior is over.
All right.
Chris, he's a work in progress. Hopefully, you know, we're getting somewhere with him.
Chris,
And we took a big step back.
And, yeah, the video ends off just like that. So the next clip of Principal's office we're going to be looking at is quite different compared to the other 3 we looked at so far, especially with the guy cussing out the teacher, which I did in the video earlier I responded to. Instead, this one is going to be quite a bit disturbing at first, and the video is so-called titled, Sex Educator. And well, judging by the title of it, you probably already have an idea of what it's going to be about. As we start this video in 3, 2, 1. Roll this darn video, shall we?
This heart is pretty hot, but I would never want to wind up in her office for discipline because I hear she's really harsh.
Okay, I know this video is old and all, but how come he's saying his principal is hot? I mean, I'm a little bit confused on that. Like, can someone really explain to me how their principal is really hot? Because I don't think anyone in my high school has ever said things like this. I mean, yeah, the principal in my high school is a male teacher, but I mean, he was really pretty nice to everyone. I mean, sure, yeah, he did have like a bald head himself, but from what I've heard though about having a bald head, they say it makes you attractive towards women, in which that I wouldn't really be surprised about if I was safe to assume this was true, but who knows really. I mean, you never know, you might actually get a girl for having a bald head, you never really know, it could happen. Okay, what am I saying? Can we just move on with this video already? Because I feel like I'm already off topic at this point.
Hey, Tammy, what's shaking?
hey, actually, have a seat. I have some referrals we should address together. I received a referral for a student for making an extremely rude and sexist comment in the classroom.
What's up?
I was very thankful that Mr. Arrett just happened to stop by, so I had some backup.
You know, I'm not that surprised about this. I mean, in health class before in high school and even in junior high and 7th grade once, I don't think I've ever had anyone say anything that had to do with sexual harassment or anything. But I guess all you can do is really just keep it to yourself if the school was gonna have a bad reaction over it, if they were gonna take it this far. But what would I know exactly?
You wanna read that out loud to me?
Said inappropriately. How can a girl be bad in bed? All she has to do is lay there.
Where is that coming from?
From my mind, and
Wait, what? It's coming from your mind. The way how he said that, the principal's asking him, where is that coming from? He's like, from my mind. And he's laughing like he's just lost of words. Like, I can imagine his father, like, asking him when he gets out of school. His dad would be like, hey, son, what have you been doing in school today? I think you were saying something very sexual in the classroom. Like, where are you getting all this from exactly, son? And then he'll be like, from my mind. I can just imagine an occurrence like that.
What were you thinking?
that line.
Tell me, what?
That line.
All she has to do is lay there?
From what I know, that's all a girl has to do is just lay there.
Well, alright, Mr. Michael, the weird, you know, redheaded boy or whatever you want to call yourself. I know what you're saying wasn't anything sexual. At least judging by what he's saying, it doesn't sound like it's sexist. Well, maybe to the school it does. But like I said earlier in the video, you may as well just keep it to yourself while you're in school. Now, if you think all that the girl has to do is just lay there, what do you think might happen next, buddy? Because I can guarantee you that you probably have never even experienced sex not once in your whole life. Not even as an 8-year-old child, you still never could have experienced it just like anyone else hasn't yet. Am I right? Wink, wink.
What do you know?
That kind of got awkward. Because Miss Harvey's a female. Mm-hmm. And she's hot.
Just so we're clear on this is one of the most cringiest parts I have ever seen in my entire life, and it just makes me want to bang my head on something already.
Why are you having these conversations in the classroom?
We were talking about some magazine quiz that I took, and I was taking it, but it was a girl's magazine, and it said that I was bad in bed. So I thought maybe if I was a girl, I'd be bad in bed. But I was thinking, how could a girl be bad in bed? All she has to do is lay there.
You are quite the sex educator.
I know, I should be a teacher. Sex University.
Okay, so his principal is just looking at him with a blank expression whenever the kid said sex university, and then his principal is just literally just out of a random occurrence, just a blank expression with literally no words to say to this kid at all. Like, he's just literally just sitting there while the assistant principal, Miss Harvey, is just literally just telling him, oh, why are you doing this and that? You shouldn't be, or at least why are you having these conversations in the classroom? And then he's just basically just talking about how can the girl be bad in bed and stuff. Like, just a lot of these things are just going on all at once, and the actual principal isn't even like saying barely anything. Maybe like one thing throughout the whole thing, but that's pretty much it. Like, I really do feel sorry for this high school that had to deal with someone like this, because I bet if this were at my high school I went to, I guarantee you that they would probably get pulled out of the class for the rest of the day, because I don't think they could send you back to class if this were to be like a really bad reaction to the whole thing. Now, let's be honest though, I had health class throughout my freshman year, and I don't think any of us wouldn't do things like that. I'm pretty sure that we'd rather do this outside of school instead of just in the so-called classroom. Also, back when I was in health class, all we really had was textbooks to answer our questions. But never have they ever gave us magazines to read that had to do with someone else's gender, but how would I know, really? I mean, it's not like we're in the late 2010s. I mean, we're talking the late 2000s. Oh, you know, the time when everybody used to use Apple iPods and Apple phones, in which, I mean, I'm pretty lucky I went to high school at the right time. Or at least I hope I did, if that was even the case.
You're not an expert because you read one girl magazine article.
I was trying to make conversation. Is that wrong?
Yes, yes. It could be taken as sexual harassment, and you cannot do that in the
I
classroom.
was just joking around. I didn't think it was going to be that bad.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
I know, I realize that, but I want to make sure you understand the seriousness of harassment. Okay? You're going to receive 1 day in school suspension.
1 day of in-school suspension? Well, I mean, I guess that doesn't sound too bad. I mean, at least it ain't as bad as what my friends used to have in high school. I mean, yeah, most majority of them had a couple days, maybe even weeks of in-school suspension. I don't know. By the way, this kid thinks that 1 day of in-school suspension is like making him like feel miserable or something throughout the day. But come on now. I mean, at least he was able to learn his lesson that he won't do it again. Because, hey, you know, we all make mistakes sometimes. Heck, even I make mistakes sometimes, and I usually learn from it. So then I think we should all do the same. You know, and honestly, I wonder what this guy principal thought of all this, because he didn't even get to have not a single response from any of this at all. It was just that blank expression that we got, and he only said one thing, and that was it.
No more of this, okay?
Okay.
All right, back to class. I seriously hope Michael will think twice before he makes an inappropriate comment like that in the future.
I'm going to try not to make these jokes anymore, but you never know. I'm a 16-year-old boy. That's what we do, make stupid jokes and do stupid things.
And, yeah, the video ends off just like that. Well, now that you experienced what being in the principal's office is like, if you want to be a great student without getting in trouble, well, here's my advice to you from me. With just a little statement I just want to point out, with just a few words. Don't end up like Chris or Michael on the other hand. Because if you do, well, you're in for a world of pain ahead of you. And someone in high school might throw you to the ground as all goes down in shambles. But anyhow, that wraps up this whole video, and I hope you all enjoyed this video, because if you did, you can make sure to subscribe, because I'll be making more content within the meantime. And also, make sure to turn on that bell notification to stay up to date on my channel to be notified about my new videos coming out. This is Soul Phantom rolling out. Adios.
Might just have to rip it through my nose, licking on her toes. Pulled up at her door with hella different color roses. Said she wanna go, well, where you wanna go? Cause I'll go anywhere with you, I don't care where we go. And can't delay it, been the greatest, no discussion.
Sit down.